welcome to Estevan TV. I'm at pushgapradio.com.
Pushgapradio.com, bridging the gap between old school and new school radio. Pushgapradio.com. It's Dallas, baby.
Pushgapradio.com, Hamilton Park, Dallas, Fort Worth.
Live from Hamilton Park, Dallas, Fort Worth, Pushgap Radio.
Ooh, girl, you can't hear how Dallas, Fort Worth work. This is Jackie.
What up, y'all? This is Jackie
Of Shaka Ford 1 and the main event show.
Goes a little something like that.
Shaka Ford 1 and the main event with me, the Queen B, Jackie O. Heard exclusively on Pushgap Radio. Giving you two scoops.
And goes a little something like that.
PushGapRadio.com in Hamilton Park, Dallas, Fort Worth.
Pushgapradio.com. We want to be your official Dallas internet station.
PushGapRadios.com in Dallas and Fort Worth. Welcome to another edition of Shaka 4-1 in the main event without Jackie O. Here's the Joe Lewis this week, Dallas, Fort Worth. Is it too early for Christmas during the coronavirus? We'll break that down for you. 2020 is a wash. Things that went on during this year. Kevin Felder interview, the new president of the Dallas branch of the NAACP. And we're having our rolling tray giveaway this week as well. And coming up is the JMAC Locker Room Sports Report. Every struggle you had in your life shaped you into the person you are today. Be thankful for the hard times. They can only make you stronger. We're PushGapRadios.com. Dallas, baby. What's the Joe Lewis?
Bensound.com.
PushGapRadios.com in Dallas and Fort Worth. Welcome to another edition of Sucker-Proof Radio here at PushGapRadios.com. Day 1,332 of the Trump administration. 49 days until our next presidential election, and 102 days until Christmas. Speaking of Christmas, do you think it's too early for Christmas right now? Beginning to look a lot like Christmas, a whole lot of different places. And in some neighborhoods across the country, they're starting to put up different lights and things of that nature. And people are just hanging Christmas lights. They're trying to spread some semblance of cheer during the country's ongoing coronavirus health crisis. You think it's too early? Jackie O and I went to Hobby Lobby and to Michael's, and they have their whole back section just crammed with Christmas stuff, man. You know, pandemic has forced a lot to rethink their promotional tactics so far as the different retailers across the country. Macy's, Kohl's, Calvin Klein, Guess, and Target. And they're preparing to start the Christmas season sooner than ever. Are you bummed out because of coronavirus? Do you need a little holiday cheer in your life right now? I was born Christmas Day, so you're rushing it to me, okay? You're rushing it, okay? It'll be here soon enough, all right? Can we get through Halloween first? But do you think do you think Christmas is coming too early? Would you be inclined to start getting into the Christmas spirit? September 14th, as of today. Would you be inclined to do such? Now, Walmart is letting their employees off for Thanksgiving. It's an amazing thing. But do you think perhaps 2 days off is good? If I'm out here doing the Joe Lewis, getting it crunk up for the holidays, wouldn't I want Thursday and Friday? But of course, Friday is Black Friday. But yeah, Christmas, do you think it's too early? A lot's been going on. Trump's lying ass. For those of you voting for him, we'll get into that later on in the program. But yeah, are you ready for Christmas? I mean, you just been locked down, can't go anywhere, okay? And you're just stuck in the house. What are you doing with yourself while you're in there? You know, it's been wild. Me, I like to move around, but as you see, there's a lot going on. Every time someone steps out there, bam, coronavirus goes up. I don't think we've seen the Labor Day numbers as of yet, but, you know, it is what it is. But is Christmas coming too early? This year, you know, I don't think I would think so. I honestly don't think I would think so. It's been a bummer for a lot of people. And then some people want to wear a mask. Some people don't. It is just insane. Time now for your PushGapRadio.com celebrity birthdays. Celebrity birthdays on last week, September 6th. My cousin Charmin Martin Davis in North Richland Hills, Texas. It was her birthday. September 8th was Jackie O's daughter Brittany Jones's birthday. Yesterday, September 13th, my older brother, Stephen Shackelford, my little brother, Terrell Atkins. Stephen Shackelford, born September 13th, 1959. Terrell Atkins, born September 13th, 1969. Happy birthday to each of you. On September 14th, rapper Nas turned 47. Basketball great Jimmy Butler turned 31. Football star Deshaun Watson is 25 years old. September 15th, movie actor Tommy Lee Jones turned 74. The great baseball pitcher Gaylord Perry. You might not know nothing about Mr. Gaylord Perry. He turns 82. Former football star Dan Marino turns 59. Football coach Pete Carroll will be 69. Eric Garner, who died from a police chokehold in New York in 2014 at the age of 44, on September 15th would have been 50 years old. September 16th, singer Nick Jones turns 28. TV actress Amy Poehler will be 49. Pop singer Mark Anthony turns 52. And September 16th, magician David Copperfield will be 64 years old. September 17th, rapper Flo Rida turns 41. Kansas City Super Bowl champ and MVP Patrick Holmes will be 25. Rapper Exhibit on September 18th, he turns 26. Ricky Bell of New Edition and Belle Biv DeVoe fame turns 53. Actress Jada Pinkett Smith will break off her entanglement long enough to celebrate her 49th birthday. That's your PushGapRadio.com celebrity birthday. If you'd like to get your birthdays in, all you have to do is go to our Facebook page on PushGapRadios.com. Put in your anniversary or your birthdays, and then I'll kick out a celebrity and put in yours. Dallas Police Chief RENEA Hall resigns in the wake of policing protests. RENEA Hall, the police chief here in Dallas, abruptly announced her resignation on last week amid eroding support of the city council stemming from her department's handling of protests over policing of African Americans. Now, what they're saying is that she's not doing such a great job. Now, she came here 3 years ago from Detroit, and I knew this girl wasn't going to be here. I'm sorry, Chief Hall. I knew this lady wasn't going to be here long when she said, well, why do you have a Dallas Police Association, a Dallas Black Police Officers Association, a Dallas Hispanics Police Association? Sweetie, you ain't going to make it here. We're going to get into that later on with Kevin Felder, the new president of the Dallas NAACP. We'll go over some things with him. But several police chiefs around the country have been resigned or fired in recent months as cities reassess their police department's treatment of ADOS and Latinos and the use of tear gas, pepper spray, and the like. Now, some of the chiefs that have stepped down: Fort Worth, Texas, police chief, gone. Arlington, Texas, where the Dallas Cowboys play, gone. Now, Dallas, Texas, Chief RENEA Hall. She was leaving in November. She was asked to stay until the end of the year through December. Police chiefs in Seattle, Atlanta, and Louisville are among those who have departed. On last week, the police chief in Rochester, New York, and several of his department's highest-ranking officials resigned in the aftermath of the death of Daniel Prude, a black man who suffocated after he'd been placed in a hood by city police officers and pinned to the ground. See, like the athletes now are starting to stand up and look at what's going on. Police officers, too. We did a story last year here at PushGapRadios.com about the lady who called the police on the black police officer that was out there investigating a damn crime. Are you a brother in blue or are you ADOS? Because the moment you take off that uniform as a Dallas police officer and you go to Irving, Arlington, Grand Prairie, Garland, Fort Worth, wherever, just another nigga. They don't care. There was a sheriff that went into the IRS office down here earlier this year. The white security guard pulled his gun on him because he had a gun on. This man was a sheriff, and he stood there. Maybe, just maybe, these folks is getting tired too. You know what I'm saying? It's sad. Dallas Police Chief Officer RENEA Hall has stood down. She's a graduate of Grambling State University, for you Grambling Tigers out there. And became a police officer because her father was a police officer in Detroit. He was murdered in 1971 when she was 6 months old. Chief Dave Brown's up there in Chicago. Just don't understand. I do, but I don't. Maybe, just maybe, they're tired of it. Because if you're a black police officer, a black police chief, with the embedded racism within the police department, do you really think you can do your job? First off, no one wants to address the elephant in the room, the racism. And that's why we aren't going to get anywhere. When we come back on the bangingest thing in the urban internet radio game, 2020 is a wash, baby. That's what I said. Is it too early for Christmas? But we'll get into 2020 being a wash. Kevin Felder, the new president of the Dallas branch of the NAACP. We will be speaking with him. And JMAC, the locker room report. We'll be getting into that as well. Our giveaway. This is what we're giving away. I'm going to tell you when we come back. It's a rolling tray. Now, these are samples, but I'll show you some other samples when we come back. Banging this thing in the game. Shout out to KYBNradio.com in Mountain View, California, where we are syndicated. PushGapRadios.com. Dallas player.
PushGapRadio.com. We finna take over this town like street sweepers.
That's gangsta now.
Not now, but right now. We're PushGapRadio.com. Shaka 4-1 in the main event with Jackie O. We're internet famous, just not real life hot. It's going down, baby. We're PushGapRadio.com. Duncanville, Dallas, Fort Worth, Dallas.
Something like that.
Shaka Ford won in the main event with me, the Queen D, Jackie O. Heard exclusively on Push Gap Radio. Giving you true scoops.
PushGapRadios.com in Dallas and Fort Worth. Man, it's just been crazy around here. You cannot get into your job as a police officer if we cannot discuss the elephant in the room. Here's my scenario. I'm police chief and I come in. Well, Chief Shackelford, what do you want to do? Well, first off, let's get all the racists in the damn room and let's address the issue. If you are racist, hey, nothing wrong with that, but we have to get that out of the system. Oh, well, we can't talk about that. Then we'll never get past the problem. How is it that police officers know not to go kill white people, but you don't know how to stop killing black folk? So the same thing you do in Highland Park, Plano, Frisco, McKinney, Texas, do the same thing in Bonton, Stop 6, South Dallas. It's embedded. And I just believe the black police officers are sick of it too. We will not face the elephant in the damn room, man. So therefore, we're never going to get to a thing of solving. You're talking about reforming the police department. It's designed the way it is. It operates the way it does because of the way it was set up in the 1800s. What it's always been, to police black folk. Time now for your PushGapRadio.com word of the day. PushGapRadios.com word of the day is brought to you by Mardrell Wise with Rendon Realty. To learn anything you need to know about refinance, selling, or buying a home, go to mardrell.wise at rendonrealty.com. PushGapRadios.com word of the day is prosperity. God is my source of infinite abundance. While I recognize God as the ultimate source of my good, other people are the channels through which my prosperity flows. Employers, employees, customers, and co-workers are conduits of God's unlimited good. Conflicts are quickly resolved as I remember we are here to serve each other. Just as others contribute to my financial increase, I also share prosperity with the people in my life. As I pay bills, I give thanks for the services they covered. When money or other forms of prosperity come my way, I am grateful for the law of circulation. Whether I give or receive, my loving attitude strengthens our connection. Today, I thank God for the people who are channels of prosperity in my life. I planted, Apollos watered, but God gave the growth. You'll find that in 1 Corinthians 3 and 6. I think you'll find it works. But yeah, man, dang on 2020's been a bust. For those of you who think your jobs are coming back, they're not. Not trying to be negative or anything. Real quick, our giveaway. Here's our giveaway. Now, understand something. These are sample trays. Jackie O is into the hat. Look at the hat. Okay. The mirror behind me. This is what we're giving away. And all we need you to do is log on to www.pushgapradios.com and go to the contact page. Send us a message as to why we should hook you up, all right, with a tray. Why should you win the tray? That's what we want to know. All right. About to show you a couple of other things here. Let me get some things squared away. It's another tray in the coming weeks that's given away. This one is being given away this week, though. All right. Then we're going to get to the 2020 thing. Also, she does cups. Okay. Right now, she's working on her Christmas stuff. Can you see that? Beautiful. Beautiful. Now, those of you in the audio audience, of course, you can't see it. Have to go to pushgapradios.com and click on the YouTube channel, The Making of. See that? Great. Greatness. Okay. A couple of other things that we will be giving away as well. Kobe Bryant. You like Kobe? We'll be giving that away as we progress going into October and November. Okay. Snoop D-O double jizzle, baby. We'll be giving that away going forward. Again, these are samples. Jackie O was trying to get her craft down and did an amazing job. Here's another one for the ladies. You know what I'm going to do? You know what I'm going to do? One for the guys and one for the ladies. So if you're a guy, make sure I know that. I don't know if you're a Cowboy fan. And one for the ladies. These are the two giveaways this week. Again, log on to pushgapradios.com, click on the contact page, scroll down, and leave us a message as to why you should win a tray. We'll do that for you. Yeah, that's what Jackie O's into right now. Amazing. Truly amazing. I don't possess that. We're able to do crafts and whatnot like that. But, you know, but yeah, man, 2020 has been a freaking bust. From a deadly pandemic to a global movement for racial justice, the year 2020 has already experienced its fair share of world-shifting events. Australian brush fires back in December of 2019 killed at least 34 people. Also in 2020, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle quit the royal family. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex shocked both sides of the pond on January 8th when they announced they were stepping down as senior royals. COVID-19 pandemic. The World Health Organization announced January 9th that a deadly coronavirus had emerged in Wuhan, China. It's the China virus. I'm the president. I said so. China. In a matter of months, the virus has spread across the globe to more than 20 million people, resulting in at least 751,000 deaths at this time. The death of Kobe Bryant The legendary Los Angeles Lakers player was killed, along with his daughter Gianna and 7 others, when their helicopter crashed in Calabasas, California on January 26. The impeachment of Donald Trump came down in 2020. He faced impeachment trial back in January on charges that he asked Ukraine to investigate former Vice President Joe Biden and his son Hunter. The Harvey Weinstein verdict fell down. Black Lives Matter was on pump. Biden becomes Democratic presidential nominee and chose Kamala Harris as his VP. So that's where we are in 2020. Kamala Harris totally disrespected the black business owners over there in Wisconsin. Those of you who are voting for Joe Biden and the Democratic Party, you'll hear clips of that throughout the program. Biden said the first thing he going to do day one is send a bill to Congress creating a clear roadmap to citizenship for dreamers and 11 million undocumented people. Now, Trump and Biden are kind of tied down there in Florida. Huge Cuban population. So how come you're not dogging those Cubans out for not voting for the Democrats like you do us, the black people? So you'll sweeten the pot for them, though. You'll give them something for dreamers and undocumented people. It's black people that put Democrats in office. And now you don't want to offer us anything. Just niggas get out there and vote and shut up. You shouldn't want anything. Take one for the team. We got to get Trump out of there. That's no political agenda. You want me to help you get somebody out of office that you put in office? Okay. Biden, 46%, Trump, 50% down there in Florida. So if you want to win the presidency, Democrats, go down there and get the Cuban and the non-Cuban vote then. If you have nothing for us, we have nothing for you. Sorry. There's nothing in it for you. You want us to come out in droves like we did for Barack. Well, we can do that. WIFM radio, fam. What's in it for me? How you going to continue to give the vote away? 86% of white men, 75% of white women put Trump's ass in office. 11% of black men, 4% of black women voted for Trump. How in the hell are they screaming to you that your ass got to get Trump out of office? You didn't put him in there. Then there's nothing for you either? How long are you going to keep getting your head bumped by these people? When you have people of the ilk of Yvette Carnell, Tariq Nasheed, Michi X, Antonio Moore, Tone Talks. These people are spitting you game about what's going on. There's a down ballot vote. We're going to show up to vote because we're going to show our numbers in November. But what you need to do, ADOS, American Descendants of Slavery, is vote down ballot. Vote your state, local, and regional. Do not vote the federal ticket for president, either one. That way we showed up. You don't come back to us 2 years from now, 4 years. Well, you darkies didn't show up, so, there's nothing for you. No, we showed up in droves. We just didn't vote for your ass. And that's what that is. ADOS, it's all about us right now. How do you not understand that, man? How do you not understand that? That's what's going down. That's what's going down. Ice Cube came out, made some remarks talking about the different candidates got to work for the black vote. You got to work for it. It's quid pro quo, something for something. My vote ain't damn free. Ain't nobody else's vote free. Then the Cubans get to vote whether they want more people to come into the country or if America is liable for the people at the border. But let us say that. We're racist. Immigration hurts us as black people while you trying to include everybody. Everybody don't include your ass. But yeah, Ice Cube came down, said you're going to have to work for the vote. That's flat out what that is. You have to work for the vote. When we come back on the Bangin'est podcast in the urban internet radio game, we have our interview with the new president of the Dallas branch of the NAACP. Also coming up, the JMAC locker room report. A lot of football went down on yesterday, baby. Like the big shout out to both of my brothers, my older brother, my little brother, Stephen and Terrell. Happy birthday to you. Virgos, keep rocking. Capricorn, we coming up, baby. You already know it. Banging this thing in the game. Shaka 401 in the main event on pushgapradio.com. Remember this, the people who follow us aren't followers. pushgapradios.com. Dallas, baby.
What's up, D-Town? Coming all the way from Hamilton Park, the oldest black neighborhood in the hood. Where black folks still got that sign in their window that said, guess which street nights that his house is guarded by a gun. My name is Anastasia, the hottest female comic here in D-Town. Be true to it if you ain't new to it. That's what I'm talking about. Pray until something happens, cause God always provides. I'm Anastasia on the new pushgapradio.com, where the power is in the name. See ya!
I need to get one more thing in this broadcast, if you can put it in for me.
Absolutely. I got you. We trying to be the official podcast of the Dallas chapter.
All right. So what we do want to say is that the Dallas branch is under what's called an administratorship. Right. And so that needs to be at the very beginning.
Something like that.
Shaka Ford won in the main event with me, the Queen D, Jackie up. Heard exclusively on Push Gap Radio. Giving you true scoops.
PushGapRadios.com in Dallas and Fort Worth. Told you coming up we were going to have an interview with the new president of the Dallas branch of the NAACP. Big warm PushGapRadios.com welcome for Mr. Kevin Felder. Mr. Felder, welcome to the program, sir.
Good morning, and thank you for the invitation. I appreciate it.
Not at all, not at all. Full disclosure, first and foremost, me and Mr. Felder are both from Gary, Indiana, home of Steel Mills and Michael Jackson.
That's right.
Coming back later on saying, why ain't you tell us y'all was shut up? But he is now the new president of the Dallas chapter of the NAACP. You also have a realty company.
Yes.
He's a former Dallas City Councilman of District 7, and again, now president of the Dallas branch of the NAACP. So like you were saying, there's a lot going on, and you were explaining to me a little bit ago, how did you get started? You were telling me about Richard Hatcher of Gary, Indiana, who was the first black mayor of a major city.
That's correct.
All right. Know
That's
that.
right.
Gary, Indiana ain't just give you Michael Jackson. But you were telling me a great story there. How did you get involved in the politics?
Well, I got involved in politics. Again, you just, your intro talks about Richard Gordon Hatcher. Mm-hmm. And so my very first job, I'll tell you something else about me that you don't know.
Yeah.
That my first job out of high school was at Gary City Hall.
Really now?
I worked for Mayor Hatcher. I was a janitor.
Okay.
I was a janitor, and I used to wash his limousine.
Really?
Yes. And so I had many conversations with him, and I expressed to him that, how proud I was, and how I would like to be like him someday. And so, that kind of shaped my thinking. I got an opportunity to meet Reverend Jesse Jackson and all those people who were coming.
A lot of people, boy.
Yeah, they came through City Hall, and I met Andrew Young when I was like 19, 20 years old at a banquet.
Okay.
And so he was UN ambassador at that time.
I remember Andrew Young.
Yes. So what I'm trying to say is that I've been engaged for a long time. It didn't just happen here in Dallas. I started in Gary.
Okay.
And so my very first job out of high school was at Gary City Hall.
Okay.
I was a janitor. And one of my duties was to wash the limousine of Mayor Hatcher. And so I would see him coming and going all the time.
Right.
Tom Joyner. I met Tom Joyner. He used to come to the luncheons over at the Sheraton next to Gary City Hall. So I met quite a few people, and all of that was churning in my mind, and I wanted to be someone important like that. And so, it always stayed in the back of my mind.
How long have you been president of the Dallas chapter of the NAACP, and how did you get the nomination for that? Did that come from being a former Dallas City Council member, or someone came up to you? How did that come about?
It came in April of this year, and it's kind of a long story. What happened was the previous president was under investigation.
Oh, okay.
For financial impropriety. And so there was an Article 10 filed against him. That's a grievance that was filed against him. And the investigation was coming to an end, and he decided to resign before the findings came through. But they had already, he had a debit card put in his name under the NAACP bank account. So
he ain't the first.
Huh?
He's not the first.
You're right. He's not the first.
First, man.
He's not the first. And so the operation, the Constitution says that should there become a vacancy in the presidency, the first vice president will ascend to president. I was first vice president, and I ascended to president.
Okay. Greatness in the making, baby. All right. Gary, Indiana. Don't forget it. So with the We're Done Dying hashtag that's being set to mobilize and encourage people to demand change and action in policing and governing, what's the next course of action for the NAACP, and in particular the Dallas chapter under this banner?
Right now, the NAACP is kind of frozen. And what I mean by that is there's a directive from the national office. None of the chapters, even the national chapter, are meeting in person. Everything is virtual. I had a meeting last night. Everything is virtual. As a matter of fact, we're having our national convention next month, and it's virtual. So
I'd like to be a part of that.
Okay. So that's in a nutshell. Normally we would, basically what we're doing is sending out press releases and doing interviews such as the Zoom and things like that. So everything is kind of altered.
I know.
Based upon the coronavirus. And so we're not as active as we normally would be. Normally we would be doing marches, protests, because it kind of bothers me that, I see some of these other groups such as Black Lives Matters and Next Generation Action Network out and about and on the forefront. But the NAACP National Board of Directors and the president, they haven't, if I don't know, did you watch the George Floyd funeral?
A little bit, yes.
Okay. There was no representative from the NAACP. The national office was not there. And for any of the others. So there's a travel ban going on. This is just a whole lot. It's a big freeze going on right now.
So is that affecting membership at all for that?
Well, actually, no, because it actually, because of the tragedies of people being shot and killed, we have received a number of corporations that have reached out to us. I'll give you an example. You watch football, right?
But of course, diehard Bears fan, baby.
Okay. Well, listen, I got a call from RG3.
Really?
His mother lives in Arlington.
Oh, wow.
And she heads his foundation. And so he called and said, hey, what can we do? He said, every city I've lived in, our foundation has assisted with, whatever the NAACP needs. And so I had an opportunity to meet with him. I've talked to his mother, but I haven't met her yet. She's the president of his foundation. So obviously he's gone on to camp. And so I've been in touch with her over the phone, and we're going to meet soon. And so she's going to ask, what it is that we need in the Dallas chapter.
Right.
And they have connections of corporations and sponsors all over the country that can help us.
Huge reach, yes.
Yes, and then we have other corporations that have reached out to us offering assistance and support. And so it's actually been a boom in terms of corporate America reaching out. Everybody wants to know, what can we do to help? What can we do to help?
Right.
As far as the membership is concerned, we did have a large spike right after the George Floyd case and some of the other cases. We had a large spike in membership.
Right.
And so, but the way that the Dallas branch has been run, I'm not pleased with it. I mean, I've been a member since, I think, 1995 or something, maybe 1990.
Right.
I've been a member at the Dallas chapter since 1990. So I'm a Silver Life member.
Right.
And so I've recruited a lot of people, and my goal is to get it to 1,000, and we don't have 1,000 right now.
Okay. So
that's the goal. We don't have a permanent office. We started at the Thurgood Marshall Recreation Center, and we recently moved over to the MLK Martin Luther King Center in South Dallas.
So you were talking earlier about the police shootings and whatnot.
Yes.
So what's kind of going on with the defunding of the police here in Dallas, or reform or anything? Is that what you guys are kind of looking at with the Dallas chapter?
Well, I mean, again, we are, as a chapter, we have not addressed that yet.
Okay.
Right. But me personally, I understand the sentiment of it, but you have to make sure that you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Yes, sir.
It is true that the Dallas police budget is $516 million, and I'm sure you can find fat in there.
Well, they were talking about cutting out. Sorry to cut you off, but aren't they talking about cutting off $7 million in police overtime in the Dallas Police Department?
Yes. And so my concern with that is, okay, now we're understaffed, yet you want to take away $7 million in overtime. So if there wouldn't be overtime if you had enough staff.
Exactly.
So you're going to take $7 million away in overtime, and put it in affordable housing, increased lighting in high crime areas, so on and so forth.
Yes.
I agree with where they want to put the money. What I don't agree with is just coming in and say, we're going to slice $7 million off overtime. No, how can you do that when you're understaffed? There wouldn't be this much overtime if that was the case.
And then I heard something to the effect they were going to put the money into building more bike lanes.
That's in the package.
Right.
Okay. In accounting terms, on the left-hand side, the $7 million is coming out of that pool of money. On the right-hand side is where they're going to distribute the money to.
Okay.
And so yes, bike lanes is one of them. Affordable housing is another component.
Right.
Let me see, what else were they talking about? Transferring police officers to patrol, and then hiring people to fill the former officers that were in civilian positions, put civilians in those positions. So there's a number of components. Now, what I want to tell you about this particular piece is the guy that wrote it is the guy that is in my seat, and that's my seat.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, it came from him.
Okay.
But I will tell you that the activists are the ones that are pushing it.
Right.
But the citizens and the taxpayers that live in the district and that mostly live in the city are not for it.
Right.
And that's the mistake. Activists, yes, activists should have a voice.
Right.
But the louder voice should be from the citizens and the taxpayers,
right,
the voters, and that's the difference.
We're talking with Mr. Kevin Felder, former Dallas City Councilman of District 7 and the new president of the Dallas chapter of the NAACP. When we come back, we're going to get into the resignation of police chiefs rolling around the country. We're going to delve into that. And the JMAC Sports Report, the Locker Room Report, that's coming up as well. Banging this thing in the urban internet radio game. PushGapRadios.com. Dallas, baby.
On February 12, 1909, a group of Americans decided to take action against the horrific lynching practices in the country. Together, they founded the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, the NAACP, the oldest and largest civil rights organization in America. And 111 years later, thousands of dedicated workers, organizers, leaders, and members still continue that work. Business as usual is costing Black Americans their lives. The NAACP has started a social movement, and we need your voice to make one thing perfectly clear. We are done dying. Now, the Dallas, Texas chapter has a new president, former Dallas City Councilman Kevin Felder, who needs our help in continuing the fight. Let's not abandon our Black institutions. Let's join them to take them over to make them what we need them to be. For more information on how you can become involved in the Dallas chapter of the NAACP, just log on to www.dallasnaacp.com.
There's a little something like this.
Shackleford won in the main event with me, the Queen D, Jackie up. Heard exclusively on Push Gap Radio. Giving you true scoops.
And there's a little something like this.
PushGapRadios.com in Dallas and Fort Worth. That was the new president of the Dallas branch of the NAACP. From Gary, Indiana, Mr. Kevin Felder. You'll hear the second half of his interview coming up after the JMAC Locker Room Report. Also, don't forget, we're giving away rolling trays. These are samples that Jackie O made up. She was going to destroy them and whatnot. But I decided that I would rather just give them away to our amazing listeners. So go to www.pushgapradios.com, go to the contact page, and type in there, what's the Joe Louis? I explained that in the first show. What's the Joe Louis? Explain that to me, and you can win one of these amazing trays. Speaking of sports, it's the Mac Man out of Grand Rapids, Michigan. JMAC will get him.
Yeah, that's right. We got a lot to talk about in a short amount of time. We got plenty of playoffs. We got hockey. We got NBA. We got the WNBA. And, of course, we got a little bit of a hot topic on college football and sports as well. Let's go ahead and start off with the ladies right now. Now, of course, the WNBA playoff starts, well, pretty much
right
Tuesday. now. yeah, pretty much. So, like I said, now, of course, I told you before that with the WNBA, instead of doing the top teams from the East and the top teams from the West, they actually do the top 8 teams in both conferences.
Right.
So, here it is. Now, of course, it's broken down a little bit different. So, the lower seeds have to play a winner-go-home game. So, that's the first elimination round. And that game starts off with the Phoenix Mercury, who's ranked number 5th, and who's going to be going up against the number 8 seed, the Washington Mystics. Now, they play on Tuesday at 9 p.m. And then, of course, the Chicago Sky goes up against the Connecticut Suns. That game will also be on Tuesday at 7 p.m.
The Connecticut.
What's that?
That's Connecticut Suns. That's their name?
Yes.
The WNBA in didn't know that.
Yeah, that's right. Now, of course, both games will be on ESPN. Now, of course, the second round of this. Now, of course, the winners that come out of that will be going up against the number 4 seed, the Minnesota Lynx, which that game will be on Thursday at 7 p.m. on ESPN2, and also the number 3 seed will be or you go up against the number 3 seed against the Los Angeles Sparks. That's also on Thursday at 9 p.m. And of course, the semi finals. Of course, that goes into the best of 5, and then you have the WNBA finals. We'll get into that later. The next thing we want to talk about, let's talk about the fellas now.
Yes,
the WNBA. Man,
the bubble.
I don't know. Somebody's got to do something, but it's been folks getting kicked off the island. I can tell you that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, of course, there's also been teams that don't know how to leave for some odd reason. Now, of course, one of the favorite teams, of course, is the Los Angeles Clippers, the Los Angeles Lakers.
Right.
And then, of course, Milwaukee got themselves eliminated. Mm-hmm. And then now you have the Miami Heat and the Boston Celtics that's going up against each other. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the Denver Nuggets, who just don't know how to leave.
Oh,
my goodness.
When out the well.
Yeah, they most definitely are, because right now they were actually down 3-1, and then all of a sudden they just decided to start winning. So now they have a Game 7 situation.
Yes, sir.
That's going to be going down on Tuesday. It's right now, of course, it's 3-3 against the Denver Nuggets and the Los Angeles Clippers. Now, this situation is this. Whoever wins goes up against the Los Angeles Lakers on Thursday.
All right.
Now, of course, what else is going on the other side of the conference is the Miami Heat and the Boston Celtics. They'll be playing on Tuesday as well. That game will be going on at 6:30, and the Denver and the Clipper game at 9 p.m. Right. Man, I'm telling you, the NBA has. I'm telling you, I think the NBA has got it right. I've learned this, that I truly believe that if you don't have good guard play, you're not going to survive.
Right. Well, it's a different thing with the crowd not being there. As you go along, you start to get into it. Now, I'm quicker into the football thing. I'm a football fan, diehard Bears fan. Go Bears! We beat Detroit, but we'll discuss that in the next talk. But yeah, man, it's easier because on football, the focus is more on the field, as you see in the mirror there. Yeah, the focus is more on the field. In basketball, it's like every shot is the crowd. But I like how they did it with the seats thing. That's very
good. I truly believe I agree with you on that one. Don't forget
getting into it though.
Right. So don't forget game 7 for the Western Conference Finals, semifinals will be on Tuesday, and also the East will be game 1 on Tuesday, and then also on Thursday for game 2.
Right.
So now let's move it along with we got to talk about the hockey. We got to talk about the National Hockey League. And the only main reason why I'm really hyped on this one.
Your Dallas Stars.
Man, I'm going to tell you, they've been Man, they've been kicking tail and taking no names about now. Now, of course, their situation is this. It's real simple. Is the simple fact that they do play tomorrow. They play today, and this is a crucial game because if they win, they will be in the Stanley Cup Finals.
There you go.
That's right.
Some kind of championship coming to the Metroplex because it don't look like the little cowpokes is going to get it done. Okay.
Man, it's still early. Now, of course, they do go up against the Las Vegas Golden Knights, and the Stars will be facing each other on Monday at 8 p.m. Now, we also got to talk about the other side. That's right, the Eastern side, okay? So the Tampa Bay Lightnings will be going up against the New York Islanders. Now, that series is also pretty much the same. Tampa Bay is only one game away from advancing to the Stanley Cup as well. Now, of course, anything can happen in these type of series, okay? So just in case the Islanders don't win, well, that means they're just going to have to play on Tuesday.
Pack a bag.
Yeah, well, they pretty much doing similar things at the NBA. They don't do.
Well, yeah, they do the bubble thing, but I mean,
right.
you're gonna stay like Phil Jackson told him. Well, no, they was at
it was in
used to
Utah.
used to coach the Lakers.
Oh,
Pat Riley.
yeah.
Pat Riley told him one time, I only brought this one suit, so I need to go on in tonight. You understand? Pat, I ain't got another suit. I ain't got no change of underwear, none of that. So
right.
You gotta be prepared. But yeah, as long as you hungry and you want a championship, like you said with the Denver Nuggets, you're gonna put forth that effort. Times are different right now. It's not the regular season. You can steal one in a Corona shortened season, and it's still weird that basketball is going on in damn September.
True indeed. It is different, but you know what? They have to do what they have to do. Don't forget, if just in case the Dallas Stars don't take care of business, well, they have to have another shot at it on Wednesday. So let's go ahead and talk about. Yeah, I do too, because normally they've been typically closing games out, with the exception of the last round. They have to go to 7.
They don't crumble at the end like the Rangers or the little Cowpokes or the Stars. When they come hard.
Yeah, and like I said, it's been a few years since the last time they actually been in the Stanley Cup. In fact, whenever they do, as the Dallas Stars team, whenever they get to the Stanley Cup, they tend to win it. So let's go ahead and talk about some college football.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's right. Now, of course, most of these scores were pretty much, what's a nice way of saying this? Blowouts.
Right.
All right, so the Louisiana went up against Iowa State. Well, 31-14, Louisiana, they just destroyed them. Duke went up against the number 10 Notre Dame, and Notre Dame tried. They showed up to the game. Right. Yeah, they showed up to the game, but that was, Duke showed up to the game, but that was as good as possible. Yeah, Notre Dame beat them 27-13. And, I got to talk about Oklahoma.
Yes, sir.
Oklahoma. You probably know the song better than I do. So they went up against the Missouri State, and it was pretty much a shutout, 48-0. They are ranked number 5 in the polls. And then, of course, the Texans. Longhorns. The Longhorns went up against, of course, they're ranked 14, and they went up against UTEP, and they beat them down 59-3. And then, of course, Wake Forest showed up to a game, and they walked out with their hands on their tail after the whooping they done got. Clemson, of course, is ranked number 1.
Yeah.
It was a 37-13 beatdown. So, now I know there was something about you were bringing up about college football.
I had watched CeeDee Lamb, the Dallas Cowboys' first pick, and he had a little special on an NFL channel I saw on Yahoo. Phenomenal young man, outstanding. Jackie O's grandson now goes to Louisiana State. Name is Cortland Flowers. And as I was looking at that, what were your thoughts on these youngsters getting paid? I understand back in the day that the education was the big thing. But, hey, look, fam, these guys are phenomenal. Everyone's getting paid but the kid. You think the college athletes should get paid, JMAC?
Okay, so when this been, of course, now this has been some type of talk for a few years. And if you've been listening to pushgapradios.com in the last, I don't know how long, 10 years or plus,
10 years,
you probably already know that I have been saying that these players need to get paid. Right. But I also remember breaking things down to people. Now, you have to understand this. You have folks that are saying, don't pay the players, don't pay the players. Right. Oh, well, they're getting an education. That's what all they need. But, okay, let's think about this. These companies are getting multi-million dollars,
that's what I'm
for these kids to play.
Yeah.
Then you have the other side of this. Okay, so you don't pay them, okay? The other part is what happens when a player gets hurt. Now you have to really look at the fine print of these scholarships that they're giving them, okay? So what they're doing is, if you get hurt in the middle of the season, well, now the school has that option to either continue your scholarship, not for the year, But for the semester,
right?
That's you have to make a decision. Either do this, pay them, or guarantee their education for the 4 years. That's just my opinion.
That's a fair trade. I'm with you on that one there, JMAC. That's JMAC Sports. Don't forget, go to pushgapradios.com, go to the contact page, and explain to me what's the Joe Louis. If you heard the first show, you'll know what's the Joe Louis. Chaka Ford one in the main event. That's JMac with the pushgapradios.com locker room report. We're going to get into the NFL when he comes back. Coming up is the second part of the Kevin Felder interview on pushgapradios.com.
Church.
Marjorie Wise with Rendon Realty LLC is bringing real estate in Texas to a whole new level. Marjorie has been a resident of the great state of Texas since 1981. More than 15 years ago, she became a realtor to help people realize their dream of home ownership. She specializes in helping her clients from the beginning to the end of the home buying process. Contact Marjorie Wise and Rendon Realty today at 214-883-5312. Marjorie Wise and the boutique firm of Rendon Realty pride themselves on their outstanding world-class customer service and the added personal touches that will make you feel as if you are their only client. They look forward to meeting with you to try and earn your business. Contact Marjorie Wise and Rendon Realty today at 214-883-5312 or by email at marjorie.wise@rendonrealty.com. Marjorie Wise at Rendon Realty. Hey, don't keep her a secret.
Something like that.
Shaka Ford won in the main event with me, the Queen D, Jackie up. Heard exclusively on Push Gap Radio. Give me 2 scoops.
Radios.com in Dallas and Fort Worth. We are talking with the president of the Dallas branch of the NAACP, Mr. Kevin Felder. So when we went to the break, we were talking about the resignation of all these police chiefs across the country, Mr. Felder. Dallas police chief RENEA Hall just resigned. Arlington's police chief is out of there. City of Fort Worth police chief and several other cities across the country. What do you think is going on here?
Policing in America is becoming more and more difficult because the old model of policing, rough manhandling people and hiding behind qualified immunity. Qualified immunity is when an officer shoots a suspect and kills them and then says, I feared for my life.
Exactly.
Under the doctrine of qualified immunity, unless there's some extreme circumstances that can prove that was not the case, they're going to walk.
Right.
They're going to walk.
Even with the video just glaringly, blatantly showing you what went down. And these are the changes here at pushgapradios.com that we're trying to help to institute as well. You can defund the police, you can talk about reform or whatever, and these are just my thoughts and opinions here at Push Gap Radio, okay? The police department is working exactly the way it was designed, to me, okay? But defunding it, am I on board with that? No, particularly like you said, when you have less staff on board, and how does it work? You got the coronavirus, so you go from working a job to being on social services, food stamps and whatnot, to being unemployed and turning into a criminal. To me, that's the hierarchy in America. You either got a job, you're on public assistance, or you're a crook. Let's keep it 100. But I do not believe in totally defunding. Now, are there some places, like you said earlier in the program, are there some places where some fat can be cut? I believe that it is. So are you guys also looking into, or does Dallas have a police review board? I thought I heard about one some time ago.
yeah, we have, that's pretty new. And then I want to make sure that I give Chief Renee Hall credit, because under her administration is the Dallas Police Oversight Board.
Yeah.
And so it may not have all of the strength in the teeth, but you have to start somewhere. And you have to convince, all three wings of the association to buy into it. And so, yeah, it's been a rocky start. As a matter of fact, if you ever get the clip, they showed it last night.
Right.
I'm sure it's on Facebook somewhere. But the very first meeting, there was upheaval, and she called the protesters animals and called her extraction team into the room. It's better than what we've had, but it's not perfect.
But I'm noticing most of the police chiefs that are stepping down are ADOS. American descendants of slavery. For those of you who do not follow ADOS, I'm not minority or people of color or any of that. I'm ADOS, American descendants of slavery. But that's what I seem to notice when I'm looking at the news or reading things over the internet. It seems like a lot more black police chiefs are stepping down. Do you think that probably the time has come that they're sick of it as well?
Well, I mean, it goes with everything else. We have to run faster, jump higher, perform better, 3 times better.
Yeah.
And so that is part and parcel of the reason why. Where an Anglo police chief can get away with this, that, and the other, we cannot.
Right.
So just bear that in mind. Where a police chief, an Anglo police chief can lie, shade the truth, however you want to look at it. We can't do that.
Right. Under a much larger microscope.
Yes, absolutely. And so, yes, the police chief in Atlanta, well, one in Atlanta was not African American. Let's talk about the African Americans. Louisville, Rochester, New York, Seattle, Washington. Those are the 3. Dallas now 4. I can't think.
Fort Worth. Well, he wasn't.
He was pushed out. Yeah. See,
and the Arlington.
That's one of those situations.
And Fort Worth guy. But we're talking with the new president of the Dallas chapter of the NAACP, Mr. Kevin Felder. He was also former Dallas City Councilman for District 7 here in beautiful Dallas, Texas. And so, do you have any future political aspirations? You want to be mayor, or you want to run for governor, or what are you looking to do in the future, Mr. Felder?
Well, listen, politics is in my blood, but more than that, what's in my blood is making sure that we get good representation.
Yes.
And I have a different perspective because I came from a different place.
Right.
And so I've seen what African Americans, what a black politician can do. Because when I grew up, Gary had a black mayor, police chief, fire chief, city council, all at the same time.
Yeah, we were immersed in it.
Yes, and so, and I don't know about you, did you have Mr. Joyner, African American Studies?
No, I had Mr. What was his name? Mr. Graves. He was this tall, slim black dude. What year you come out?
77.
77. Okay, I came out 79. Mr. Graves probably got there after you was gone. Yeah, he was the African arts or African histories teacher at the time.
Well, see, that was, and I think about it, that was in the 70s. They're just now getting that here in Dallas. You understand? So I have a different mindset.
Right.
I told you what my first job was and what the people that I met and all of that, and getting an opportunity to know the mayor.
Right.
So I have a different frame of reference.
Right.
So getting back to your question, absolutely.
Future political aspirations.
I think that I was not finished where I was.
Right.
So I need to go and reclaim Yeah, I'm going to reclaim my seat.
It's gonna be a coup, huh?
I'm going to reclaim my seat.
Well, you got an army of hundreds of the 219 backing you, baby. We putting together an army on this end.
Well, okay. Well, I want to see that. The army has to be here on the ground, man.
Well, we trying to get there. We got to get them together first. We got to get them together first. But yeah, they highly motivated because they not from her either. They super motivated, the 219 gang.
Yeah, because I'm still mad because they don't have White Castle down here.
Yeah, I'm mad because they ain't got Lincolns now.
I was getting ready to say that next, man, and you definitely should have brought me a fish sandwich and a U.S. Steel.
It wouldn't have made it back. It took us 4.5 hours to get back to Dallas from Midway. 4.5 hours. And we appreciate Mr. Felder being on with us. Mr. Felder, could you please tell our listening audience what is the contact information for the Dallas chapter of the NAACP?
Well, if in social media, you can go to facebook.com /NAACP Dallas TX.
Okay.
Or if you just put in NAACP Dallas Facebook, and you'll get to the same page. Okay. Now, the issues, the NAACP issues website is a Facebook page that a former president of the NAACP put up for himself to keep himself relevant, I guess.
Okay. And is that also where they can get information for membership and for joining the chapter?
No, membership should go to our website.
Okay.
And that is DallasNAACP.com.
Okay.
I'll make sure I'm saying that
So
right.
we want you all to get involved, trying to get the membership up. We got the great Mr. Kevin Felder here that's making a difference within our community. We have not been this strong since the civil rights movement, all right? You got people who got boots on the ground here. That's Mr. Felder. We're trying to be a part of that team. We're trying to get out there and get support and resources for our people as well.
Thing in this broadcast, if you can put it in for me.
Absolutely. I got you. We trying to be the official podcast of the Dallas chapter.
All right. So what we do want to say is that the Dallas branch is under what's called an administratorship. Right. And so that needs to be at the very beginning.
It's under a what?
Administratorship.
Okay.
Because of the circumstances that caused the change in the presidency.
Yes.
So it's under an administratorship. Basically, they're just looking over the finances and making sure it doesn't repeat.
Oh.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay.
So we need to get that up front, and everything else is okay.
Okay. So now, what does that exactly mean? That it's under?
So the administratorship, how that happened was the National Board of Directors issued a letter to the Dallas branch and said that you will be under an administratorship until all of the financial position is in order. So obviously there was some financial impropriety.
Okay.
And they want to straighten all of that out.
Okay.
And so once that's over with, then we'll come from under the administratorship.
So, Mr. Felder, would you like to say anything to the folks back home in beautiful Gary, Indiana?
That's right. For everybody back home, I want each and every one of you guys, number one, get registered to vote. Number one, make sure that you're registered to vote. If you're not, do it ASAP once you see this. Number two, join the NAACP. $30 is not going to kill you.
Oh, hey.
That's a couple of fifths of liquor. So, number three, get involved in some sort of social justice activity.
Yeah.
Whether it's a protest, Chicago, start one in Gary, and make your voice heard.
Right.
Things are changing, and you need to be a part of the change. You don't have to be anybody big and special in order to do it.
Right.
Just do your part. That's all you need to do.
That is from Mr. Kevin Felder and your boy Shaka Ford 1, straight out of the 219 Playboy. Michael Jackson ain't the only thing we gave you. We got soldiers coming up out of Gary. Mr. Kevin Felder, we greatly appreciate you, sir. Thank you for coming on the program, man. And we look forward to speaking with you again.
All right. Thanks a lot. I appreciate the opportunity, and we'll get together sometime, man, whenever time permits.
All right.
Dallas Elite Track Club has been developing young athletes in track and field for over 10 years, and they possess experience on all levels of sports, national, collegiate, and professional. Coach Ken Johnson and the professional team at Dallas Elite Track Club can develop the skills in each young athlete on their road to becoming a champion. Here's Coach Ken Johnson to tell you who they are.
As you saw today, Dallas Elite, we're a 501c3. We're a track program where we deal with life skills, mentoring, and teaching kids how to be great at what they do.
So, if you have an aspiring young athlete who wants to excel in the sport of track and field, contact Dallas Elite Track Club at www.dallaselitetrack.com. Results happen over time, not overnight. Work hard, stay consistent, and be patient.
I'm intentional about making them better men, making them better young women.
Dallas Elite Track Club. We're one family, too fast. If you go where I go, and you know what I know, you know the people in the hood is bumping Push Gap Radio. Money B, tell them what you're working with.
What's up? It's your man Money B from Digital Underground. And when I'm not drinking 40s with your mama, I cool out with my man
Shaka Ford.
Mr. Millionaire.
You guys play awesome music.
For the hottest old school hip hop and R&B, entertainment, and current events, stay connected to Shaka Ford 1 in the main event only on
PushGapRadio.com. It's Dallas, baby.
Don't knock the hustle, baby.
Don't you know something like this?
Shaka Ford 1 in the main event with me, the Queen D, Jackie up. Heard exclusively on Push Gap Radio. Giving you true scoops.
PushGapRadio.com in Dallas and Fort Worth. That was Mr. Kevin Felder, the new president of the Dallas chapter of the NAACP. Don't forget, trays, baby. Giving them away. Jackie was going to destroy them and get rid of them because there were samples that she was doing. PushGapRadios.com, contact page. Scroll to the bottom, take down there and tell me what's the Joe Louis. What does that mean? All right. I've already explained that. You tell it to me, you'll win a tray. Mac Man, what's going down in the NFL now?
All righty then, y'all. It's football season has come.
You stupid. Stupid.
Man,
what's going down, baby boy? My Bears pulled it out. Thank God my Bears pulled it out. Trubinsky killing me.
Man, I'm gonna tell you, that right there was one heck of a catch. And of course, me, my uncles and my dad, we all be at at this time we was actually in his backyard on the patio. We had the TV outside. Oh yeah, we was doing the thing right there.
Did y'all practice social distancing?
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
Y'all all be spread out faces up there and whatnot. So y'all up in the good group, baby.
Anyway, let's go ahead and talk about some NFL football, week 1 football, all right?
Yes,
check it out.
A great day yesterday, boy.
Man, you know what? I will say this, though, and I anticipated to be more injuries. I anticipated I anticipated ugly football, but to be honest with you, it was probably one of the best week 1 football games in a while.
For me, it was great to see Tom Brady, and it was just football is back, thank God. And I didn't even notice the crowd. You
really didn't.
The noise being pumped in, the crowd, like in basketball, I'm always looking in the stands. Okay,
right.
There was none of that, So
only a few teams are actually allowing fans to actually be inside.
Yeah.
So that's the cool thing about it. All right, now let's go ahead and talk about the Houston Texans going up against the Kansas City Chiefs. Yeah, Kansas City took care of business 34-20. The Seattle Seahawks went up against the Atlanta Falcons 38-25. They defeated them. The New York Jets, man, I thought they was going to pull that one out, but of course, Buffalo said, we the kings.
No, that was a good game. I saw a little bit of that.
Yeah, that was a heck of a game. I will admit that. So Buffalo defeats the Jets 27-17. The Chicago Bears went up against the Detroit Lions, and of course, the Lions found ways to lose again. They found a way. Man, I'm telling you, 27-23.
We almost found a way our damn self, so I ain't gonna knock them.
Well, you know, that's the stigma around Michigan.
In the
new Washington football team decided that they was gonna come to play against the Philadelphia Eagles 27-17. Now, of course, if you don't know, just a little footnote, you know the head coach for the Washington football team, you know who he is. He actually announced that he actually. Yeah, he actually announced that he had cancer.
Really?
So he's been fighting that. So and then all of a sudden they went out there and they most definitely represented in their first game in the season with him.
But I see took the logo off the helmets and whatnot.
Yeah, they did. They did that. And then also in the end zone, they had Washington football team on there as well. But it was a little different. But you know what? You know me. I just keep it rolling. I didn't expect that one. I thought
just hit somebody, baby. Just hit somebody.
Man. And then the surprise game, the Las Vegas Raiders went up against the Carolina Panthers. Now, Carolina almost pulled this one off, but too much Raiders, 34-30. And then also the game that went down to the wire, the Indianapolis Colts went up against the Jacksonville Jaguars. And the Jaguars said, not in my house, pimpin'. 27-20, they defeat the Colts. Right. And then the Baltimore Ravens went up against the Cleveland Browns, the lonely Cleveland Browns. They beat them down 38-6.
Well, I think they're the next game next week. Cleveland and Seattle. Who the hell wants to see that? I think that's next Sunday night's game. I ain't interested in Cleveland and damn.
But
Seattle.
Yeah,
I mean,
they just have you know what? They have enough. They have the talent. They just need. I don't know what it is that the Brownies are needing. They just missing it for some.
I see you trying to save them, but nobody wants to see that.
The Los Angeles Chargers went up against the Cincinnati Bengals and pulled that one out 16-13. And the New Orleans Saints went up against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Man, that was one heck of a game. Now, of course, you know, that was the first game that Tom Brady played not being a New England Patriot. Right. And a lot of speculations was expecting a shootout or whatnot. I said if it turned out like that way, then New Orleans would probably get that one. And the defense of New Orleans, boy, they came to play. They defeated the Tom Brady and company 34-23. The Arizona Cardinals. Wow. Who would have thought that they would go to San Francisco 49ers backyard and say, this is our house. That's right. Oh, that's right.
So they came up there. They came up there themselves putting out wildfires. Huh?
Man. Yes, they did, beating the San Francisco 49ers 24-20. And you know we got to talk about the last game, that Sunday night's game. Yes, the Dallas Cowboys went up against the Los Angeles Rams, and which turned out to be an interesting game. Now, of course, there's a saying that I go by, and it goes by this: don't put yourself in a situation where you can either get exposed. And that's exactly what happened to the Dallas Cowboys as they got beat by the Los Angeles Rams 20-17. I still say this: kick the field goal to get the tie.
Yes, stay in the game.
Stay in the game. You got to find a way to stay in the game. I understand the aggressiveness, but at this point, stay in the game. The other part was I wasn't too fond of the offensive pass interference. But, I'm not saying that because I'm a Cowboy fan, but I'm just saying that it didn't even look like you had too many. You had the announcers, you had the backup referee. They all said the same thing. It really didn't look like pass.
It just looked like incidental contact. We running, we trying to get position. Now, I can see if he used to do like Michael Irvin's ass and just basically pushed off. But, he was just flailing, and I guess in the course of running, you kind of flailed out a little bit because here come the ball. And to me, it was like the Dez Bryant catch against Green Bay. The non-catch did 2 years later. Now it's a catch. And same thing here, man. I think some people don't like Jerry Jones in the NFL.
I don't know what happened, but you know what?
But
the other thing is this, and I'm not trying to bail them out, but you have to also remember that these NFL teams have not played a preseason game.
That's right.
That not only that, but none of these referees have played in a preseason game as well. So this is actually their preseason / starting of the season.
Right.
So there's going to be some calls that may be questionable.
But you cost them folks their jobs and money, man. When you having blown calls like that, I mean, the playoff hopes could hang in the balance, a la the New Orleans Saints a couple of years ago, with all that was stupid. They just totally screwed them around. So, the first game maybe, but coming on. But no, I just want to touch on Tom Brady real quick. Tom Brady looked real good. I think what Tom Brady does is he brings a sense of winning to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, because this man walked in, been to 9 Super Bowls, has won 6.
Yeah.
Ain't none of these bums even got a wedding ring up in here. Okay. So with that being the case, I think he changes the dynamic and the culture. Because if I'm in this locker room, I'm playing wide receiver, whatever, and in walks Tom Brady, immediately I'm leveling up.
Right.
That guy we had before Brady was a bum, okay? I couldn't exude my true self, but Tom Brady, and then they start clicking in the second half. Now, they made some mistakes. That left guard, he going to have to go. I saw him come 6-7 times to hit Brady from that side because he couldn't hold that dude. And that's what's hurting Brady, that left side. But, they look good to me. I think Brady changes the culture and the dynamic. What else you got, Mac, man? You got 2 minutes.
Well, I wanted to go ahead and bring this particular thing up. Now, of course, I'm going to talk about how, back in the day, I want to bring something back that we used to do back in the old days of pushgapradios.com.
Okay.
JMAC's NFL football pick.
I remember the pick, baby.
Man. Oh, yeah. So I'm going to be bringing that back. We're doing a bit of a test run. So therefore, we're going to start off with doing some recording, and then we're going to post it on pushgapradios.com
That's right.
website.
That's right.
So you guys most definitely check it out. And if you think you got what it takes, go ahead, challenge me. It's all good.
It's JMAC's picks coming up on pushgapradios.com. Don't forget, go to the website, www.pushgapradios.com. Go to the contact page. Type in there, what's the Joe Louis? What does that mean when we say at pushgapradios.com? What's going on? What's the Joe Louis? Mac Man, very good one. We're going to see what's going on through the week. Who plays tonight? Still Monday night, right?
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, the teams that play tonight, I'm glad you said that, is the Pittsburgh Steelers going up against the New York Giants, and then the Tennessee Titans go up against the Denver Broncos. Now, of course, the Pittsburgh and the Giants are at 7:15, and then the Tennessee and Denver game will be at 10:20.
Wow.
On ESPN.
Oh, okay. 2 Monday nights.
Yes.
All right, Mac Man, we're going to see you on the other side, baby boy. That's JMac with your pushgapradios.com locker room report with all things sports. JMac, I'm a holla. What the hell is that? Is that in solidarity? Stupid.
What does the pastor say to the congregation, y'all?
Dallas, baby.
It's the millionaire. Shackleford won in the main event with me, the Queen D, Jackie up. Heard exclusively on Push Gap Radio. Give me 2 scoops.
PushGapRadios.com in Dallas and Fort Worth. Here's the Joe Lewis going down with your unemployment payments if you are in Texas. No more money from the feds. After 6 weeks of $300 payments, Texans lose federal unemployment benefits. The abrupt end of temporary federal benefits caught some recipients off guard. Those getting unemployment will only get state benefits now. That went quick, huh? Seemed like they just start doling it out, fam. The extra $300 in federal unemployment benefits Texans were getting are now gone. The cost wage assistance, LWA, was provided for under an executive order. But after receiving 6 weeks of funding for the program, the Texas Workforce Commission says the Trump administration notified the great state of Texas that they ain't sending no more loot. What did you do with your money when that Trump money was being doled out? What did you do? Did you do anything to prepare your future for you, your family, your kids? Or did you just take the money, lay around and buy Kush and new Jordans and dumb stuff? What did you do? New normal when you come out here. A very new normal when this is all over with. I tell you every week on this program, them jobs are not coming back. Hope you done something with your Trump money. I did. Tried to. I don't want to go back to work. When I say that, I mean that in the context of I don't want to go back to work for anyone else. I want to work for myself and do what I want to do. New normal. I took my Trump money, new camera. Going to be going to that, using a webcam right now. That's what I did. I don't want to work for anyone else. And the type of business you need today, my friend, is not a brick and mortar. You need something online. If you're a blogger, if you're a food critic, if you do unboxing, whatever you do needs to be online right now. Advertising is booming. 50,000 downloads on YouTube gets you $1,000 to $2,000 a month. A YouTube video. What did you do with your Trump money? What happens if Trump wins again, then gets pissed off at all the people who didn't vote for him? He lifts the moratorium on evictions. He quit sending unemployment. What's going to happen if sleepy Joe Biden and Kamala Harris get in there? They're going to help the dreamers. They're not doing anything for you, and you went out and voted for them. Dumbass. They told you explicitly they weren't doing anything for you, and you went out and voted for them. But somebody on the block, any little slight, any little insult, they had a flat tire on the highway, you drive right past them. You treat these people like that. Kamala and Biden. The shopping cart is the ultimate litmus test for whether a person is capable of self-governing. Now, I found this on Facebook. This is a guy named Glenn Danzig. All right. So here's to Joe Lewis on that. To return the shopping cart is an easy, convenient task and one which we all recognize as the correct, appropriate thing to do. To return the shopping cart is objectively right. There are no situations other than dire emergencies in which a person is not able to return their cart. Simultaneously, it is not illegal to abandon your shopping cart. Therefore, the shopping cart presents itself as the apex example of whether a person will do what is right without being forced to do it. The lowly shopping cart. Who knew? No one will punish you for not returning the shopping cart. No one will fine you or kill you for not returning the shopping cart. You gain nothing by returning the shopping cart. You must return the shopping cart out of the goodness of your own heart. You must return the shopping cart because it is the right thing to do, because it is correct. The person who is unable to do this is no better than an animal. Wow, that's deep. No better than an animal, an absolute savage who can only be made to do what is right by threatening them with a law and the force that stands behind it. The shopping cart is what determines whether a person is good or a bad member of society. Do you believe that? Damn shopping cart. That's somebody's job. Okay, a little 16-year-old kid, trot him out here. Let's get these carts. Okay, do you return the shopping cart? I do most times. It depends. If I'm tired, or we live in Texas. It's hot as a slave ship in Texas. But yeah, do you return the shopping cart? They say it's a big deal. I don't believe it. I could care less. I'll put it somewhere out of the way. I don't want it to hit anybody's car, But again, what did you do with your Trump money? What are you going to do if you worked in an industry where the company you work for is no longer in business? What are you going to do? Things are different. I know I keep saying that. If you ever wanted to witness history, you're witnessing it now. Coronavirus, high unemployment, as high as the Great Depression back in 1929. Police chiefs are resigning. Why is that? We talked to the new Dallas branch president of the NAACP, Mr. Kevin Felder. Greatly appreciate him coming on the program. But why are they leaving? Why? The athletes are standing up. The police chiefs are retiring. People are tired. And they booed at the Kansas City game on Thursday when them and the Panthers came out with a show of unity. What kind of lowlife would do that? You're booing unity? So, nigga, just get out there and dribble. Just get out there and throw and run the ball and shut up. This is a game, football. I think we can stop the game for a moment to look at real life. 77% of the NFL is black. But we don't want you to say anything about your situation. Just entertain us. So, I don't know. It is what it is. We are giving away trays. All right. We got some trays for you Cowpoke fans. Again, these are samples. You have to understand that. Jackie was experimenting with these. She was about to, what is that? So, yeah, Jackie was going to get rid of these trays. And so what we just decided to do is give them away here at pushgapradios.com. What do you need? For the ladies. Okay. Then there's another little Cowpoke tray. Yeah. Christmas time. Amazing work. This is Jackie's work. You'll be able to order these at our store. That's what we did. Jackie has a whole machine and everything over there. The mirror behind me, she made that. She made one for my mom that was shipped to Gary, Indiana. That's what we did with our Trump money. What we're trying to do is level up around here. No, what the hell you're doing? Oh, well, I'm going to find another job. There are 29 million people unemployed. There are 6 million available jobs. What are you going to do? You going to keep tugging on it? Keep thinking this is a damn game? Time to tighten up, fam. Aren't you tired of working for somebody else? Somebody telling you what you can do? We supposed to have been back on the air on last Monday. I had gotten back into town from Gary, Indiana the week before. But I was still tired, a little burnt out. Plus it was Labor Day. I'm the boss, so there was no show. I felt guilty all about 20 seconds. I'm the boss. I don't feel like working. It's a beautiful thing. You know who I listen to a lot about that? Dame Dash. Very intelligent guy, old Dame. Dame kick game. Straight up and down, like 6 o'clock. Dame teaches you. You remember that interview with DJ Envy over at the Breakfast Club? Yeah, I watched that again over the weekend. Have your own. Have your own. Thank you guys for hanging out with PushGapRadios.com. Sucker Free Radio, baby. We would like to thank the Honorable Mr. Kevin Felder for being on the program, getting us up to speed with everything that is going on with the Dallas chapter of the NAACP. We're trying to get Gary, Indiana people involved up there as well as folks in Grand Rapids, Michigan. All the best to you. You think 2020 is a wash. Your ass wait till we roll over into 2021. Dr. Fauci already said it'd be the end of 2021 before this thing is over with. Don't forget, log on to www.pushgapradios.com. Go to the contact page. Explain to me what's the Joe Louis. What does it mean? Okay? You can't suck on me because I start saying it back. I start saying it back in 1979. Okay? What's the Joe Louis? Explain that to me. You can win a tray. We're going to put you in a winner's wheel. You'll get to see it spin and see your name selected. And once I go to the emails, I will check to see whose name is in there. We'll put you in the hat. We'll do a live pool. And on next Monday's show, I'll tell you who won. Devastating, titillating, definitely invigorating. Not like I'm insinuating that. I think we're stimulating. Reason that we get good ratings because we don't be perpetrating. All we got to do is touch a microphone. PushGapRadios.com. It's an acronym. Pray until something happens. God always provides. At PushGapRadios.com, the power is in the name. Thank you for logging on. Thank you for spending a part of your day with us. We greatly appreciate that. Log on next week when we got more for you. Football is back, baby. I'm truly excited about all of that. Hope you have a phenomenal week. Build something for yourself. Build something for your family. Think about your damn kids. I don't have kids. I'm thinking about old age. No one's coming to take care of me. I better get some money to take care of myself. Banging this thing in the freaking game. Shaka 4-1 in the main event on PushGapRadios.com and KYBNRadio.com in Mountain View, California. Banging this thing in the freaking game. Dallas, baby.
This is Carol J., the Roadrunner on the Shackleford One and the Main Event Show, exclusively on PushGapRadio.com. For all the latest and hottest information on what's happening in Dallas-Fort Worth, PushGapRadio.com. It's Dallas, baby.
Pray until something happens. God always provides. At PushGapRadio.com, the power is in the name. PushGapRadio.com. Hey, don't keep us a secret.
What it do? This your boy, Bing, 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 Ricochet Rabbit from Shackle 4-1 in the main event. We bridging the gap between old and new radio. You better recognize PushGapRadio.com. Extraordinary urban entertainment. I wish we were still pushing the hip hop from back in the gap, man.
PushGapRadio.com. Bridging the gap between old school and new school radio. PushGapRadio.com. It's Dallas, baby.